Welcome, and thank you for joining us. My name is Mark Daniels. Today we celebrate a special day in the history of the University of Central Florida. There are many people that have helped create these opportunities that stand before us to give our student athletes a chance to compete at the highest level on their playing fields and to continue to shine in classrooms. To the many past presidents, administrators, athletic leaders, coaches, and hundreds of thousands of UCF fans across the country and world, we say thank you. The Knights are about to embark on a new journey to showcase our brand to our new partners, our new rivals, and compete at the highest level of collegiate sports. To our newest friends, we're excited to stand with you, and we cannot wait to welcome you to our city in the coming years ahead. Today, we are honored to have some of the individuals who have played a significant role in why we are here today. Joining us via Zoom, Alex Martins, UCF Board of Trustees Chair, Bob Bowlsby, Commissioner of the Big 12, Dr. Schovanec, President, Texas Tech, and Chair of the Big 12 Board. In attendance with us, Dr. Alexander Cartwright, President of the University of Central Florida, and Terry Mohajir, Vice President and Director of Athletics at UCF. Each individual will have a chance to share some comments. Up first, please welcome Alex Martins, the UCF Board of Trustees Chair.
Well, thank you, Mark, and good afternoon, everyone. We are happy to announce that just moments ago, the Board of Trustees at the University of Central Florida unanimously voted to accept the Big 12's invitation to join the conference. It was a very historic vote that all of our trustees were very excited about, very confident about, and really signified a significant day in the history of the University of Central Florida. The board also approved an amendment to an internal line of credit between the UCF Foundation and the UCF Athletics Association in order to help fund our entry into the Big 12 Conference, as well as our exit from the American Athletic Conference. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees at the University of Central Florida, we'd like to thank Commissioner Bob Bowlsby for his confidence in our institution and in our athletics program, as well as the presidents and the chancellors of the Big 12 who unanimously invited the University of Central Florida earlier today to become members. We're extremely excited about it. And again, we thank everyone involved, including our own President Alex Cartwright and our Vice President and Director of Athletics, Terry Mohajir, who have worked tirelessly over the course of the last 10 days or so to make this day happen, along with the leaders of the Big 12 Conference. So Mark, we're extremely excited that our board was able to take this action today, and we look forward to welcoming all of our members of the Big 12, as well as you say, our new rivals, to the Bounce House and to all of our athletic facilities in Orlando and Central Florida.
Alex, thank you. Next up, the President of the University of Central Florida, Dr. Alexander Cartwright.
Thank you, Mark. Today certainly is a big day for UCF and Knight Nation as we strive to become one of the world's leading metropolitan research universities. We know our achievements in our classrooms and laboratories and in our community are enhanced by our national recognition in athletic competition. And this invitation will only strengthen that relationship. We are a young, energetic, entrepreneurial, and bold institution with a culture of compassion that is focused on building a better future for society. Since our first classes only 53 years ago, the UCF we all love has been built by people who are willing to challenge the status quo and who believed if there's a better way, we should do it. This invitation to the Big 12 is a testament to our collective achievements and the outstanding accomplishments of our student athletes and our coaches over many years as we built our athletic program. We are here today because of the hard work, years of hard work and advocacy of so many people. Our current and former university trustees, current and former university leaders, elected officials, generous donors, passionate alumni and fans, and dedicated faculty and staff have all helped to build the foundation of excellence that now supports our bold new future. We have benefited from being in Central Florida, by being embraced as Orlando's hometown team, and being a part of a community that believes in magic and knows we can accomplish anything when we work together. I would like to thank Commissioner Bob Bowlsby and the Big 12 chancellors and presidents for their vote of confidence, and we look forward to working with them to prepare for our membership. We also look forward to continuing to compete for championships in the American Athletic Association, and I would like to thank Commissioner Mike Oresco and the leaders of our fellow AAC institutions for all they have done to strengthen the conference. Our relationship with the AAC has been an exciting experience for the university's intercollegiate athletics program. Finally, I want to personally thank our board chair, Alex Martins, for his leadership and wise counsel. UCF and Knight Nation are grateful to you, Alex, and the entire Board of Trustees for your commitment to our focus on excellence in everything that we do as an institution: education, research, engagement, and of course, athletics. Go Knights and charge on.
Next up, please welcome Vice President, Director of Athletics, Terry Mohajir.
What's wrong with everybody? Come on! Celebrate! Come on, this is great. Yeah, thank you. Fantastic. Well, I'd just like to thank the media first for keeping this such a secret. Thank you for all your hard work and not trying to get the scoop. So thank you. Man, this is a landmark day for anyone ever associated with UCF and UCF athletics. As we anticipate a future to move to the Big 12, we first owe a vote of thanks to all those at UCF who've gone before us. The long list of student athletes, coaches, ADs, university presidents, support staff, alumni, donors, fans, and of course the student body. Plus so many others whose hard work and successes have helped pave the way for today's announcement, and we have several of those coaches in the room today, and I appreciate them showing up today, so thank you. But let's face it, folks, the bases were already loaded when I got here, and I feel very blessed and honored to be able to get to step up to the plate today on behalf of UCF Athletics. It's also appropriate to express our appreciation to the American Athletic Conference. As proud members since 2013, our teams have won 32 AAC championships in a wide variety of sports. We will continue to proudly represent the AAC during the transition. I speak for all of us at UCF Athletics in expressing our excitement for the opportunities that lie ahead, and I'm confident our Knight teams will rise to the challenges to come. Right, coaches? Okay, yeah, they're shaking their heads, yeah, they're shaking their heads. Because here at UCF, we're in the business of providing the best possible opportunities for our student athletes to thrive while they're here and have post-collegiate career success. We are convinced that competing as a member of the Big 12 Conference absolutely will help us accomplish our resource goals. It's impossible to truly understand UCF athletics without appreciation of the youth of our institution and in the manner in which our athletics program has overachieved. The ways in which our athletic fortunes have exploded over comparatively a short period of time is the reason why we believe that UCF is the future of college athletics. I'd like to just list off a couple did you knows for our new friends in the Big 12. So, in 1963, UCF was founded. In 1968 was the first time we held a class here. 1970 was the first time we had an athletics event here, and it was a men's basketball game. 9 years later, in 1979, UCF played football for the very first time. After playing football at the Division III, Division II, and the FCS level, UCF moved into the FBS level in 1996. So in 1996, we moved into the FBS level. So if you do the math, you'll see that UCF has been playing FBS football for only 25 years. Imagine where UCF's football program will be after 50 years. Think about it. And here's another way to measure how far we've come. Our football team has won 42 of the last 50 games. And the only teams that have won more games has been Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. See, that was easy. I didn't have to look at my notes. There's only 4. So that's an impressive group of people. Meanwhile, we'll be entering a new conference where some of the teams have been playing since the 1800s. How about that? Now remember, we started in 1996 at FBS level. So, in addition, Orlando is one of the most vibrant cities in the world. And as it relates to name, image, and likeness, or NIL, as you've heard, opportunities for our student athletes and potential student athletes here are endless compared to many college towns across the country. I am thrilled to say that we will be the flagship school for the Big 12 Conference in the state of Florida. With this move, the Big 12 is planting a flag right here in the heart of the Sunshine State. So we thank them for doing that. Just a couple Big 12 tidbits. The Big 12 has been in existence for 25 years since it began in competition in 1996. It's kind of surreal for me because I actually worked at a member institution in the Big 12 when they first started the Big 12, so this is kind of full circle. 69 teams in the NCAA team, 69 teams have won team titles and more than 700 individual national championships. The Big 12 had 5 team national championships in 2021 and 5 NCAA runner-up finishes, and 17 individual national championships were added. The conference has claimed 7 Heisman Trophy winners. So we are joining a fantastic conference, not only academically, but athletically. So we're excited. Last but not least, I want to thank our chairman of our board, Alex Martins. Thank you for your outstanding leadership and he's a very busy person. And the amount of meetings that he's taken over the last few weeks has been endless, and making himself available has been nothing but remarkable. And of course, our fearless leader, Dr. Alex Cartwright. Yes, let's give a clap, yes, absolutely. He has often joked with me when he's called me about, we've probably talked 200 times in the last 2 weeks, at least 200 times. He said, hello, Terry, this is your assistant AD. So he has been nothing but remarkable and has really shepherded this whole thing and has been fearless during this process, and I appreciate him. I also want to thank the Commissioner Bowlsby and the chancellors and presidents of the Big 12 for your vote and confidence and believing in who we are, and we will not let you down. So having said that, back to you. Thank you.
Back joining us via Zoom, please welcome the president of Texas Tech and chair of the Big 12 board, Dr. Lawrence Schovanec.
Good afternoon. Well, on behalf of my colleagues, the board of directors of the Big 12 Conference, I'm delighted to welcome the University of Central Florida to the Big 12 Conference. The Big 12 presidents and chancellors began this process of adding new members with a focus to strengthen the conference. The quality and success of athletic programs and the outstanding academic credentials of the University of Central Florida enhance the prestige and the competitiveness of the Big 12 on a national scale and sets us on a path to even greater success. A bigger, stronger, more national Big 12 is a great thing for college athletics. And certainly, having UCF as a conference member introduces us to a region that is rich in fans, students, and student athletes. I wouldn't characterize all presidents and chancellors as athletes, but we are by nature very competitive. And just as in athletics, we pay attention to a whole host of rankings. I have observed and admired the incredible growth in size and quality at the University of Central Florida. Recently, I had the chance to participate in meetings that included President Cartwright as part of a new consortium of Carnegie R1, or more commonly called Tier 1, research universities that are also Hispanic serving institutions. There are 16 such universities in the United States. And now, with the addition of the University of Central Florida and the University of Houston, the Big 12 is home to 3 of those schools. This is but one example that speaks to a shared culture and values that enhance our athletic affiliations. I look forward to working with President Cartwright, and on behalf of my colleagues on the Board of Directors of the Big 12, we welcome the benefits of your experience and leadership. Each institution in the Big 12 also looks forward to welcome you to their campuses. And I and other members of the Red Raider family look forward to seeing you in Orlando. Again, welcome to the Big 12.
Next up, also joining us via Zoom, please welcome the Commissioner of the Big 12, Bob Bowlsby.
Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate you taking the time. And Alex Martins, thank you for building a foreign trip around getting back in time to vote and be on the Zoom with us. We appreciate it. This is a big day for us, and I know it is for you. We're adding 4 great schools, 200,000 students in addition to those we already have, 3 additional states, 40 million additional people, 3 of the best recruiting areas in the U.S., including the state of Florida, of course. Tremendously successful broad-based programs that compete up and down, side to side throughout their programs on an individual basis, led by some really outstanding coaches and administrators. Collectively, just to mention one sport, we spent our new alignment in the Big 12 spent 68 weeks in the top 25 last year and 24 weeks in the top 10. So we're eventually going to lose a couple of members that have competed well, but our alignment is top flight and can hang with anybody that's out there. So indeed, it's a good day today for the Big 12, and I'm sure it's a good day for UCF as well. My research over the last 3 or 4 weeks has led me to learn that UCF is one of the most innovative universities in the country. It's been recognized as such, and its meteoric growth is testament to that. It's obvious that sort of innovation is present in the athletics program as well. It's a very young program, as Terry has said. It has quickly become a national brand on the football field. Orlando is a progressive and vibrant city in a great part of the country. State of Florida, of course, is one of the 2 best recruiting states for football players in the entire country. But even the bounce house will get more bouncy and more vibrant when we bring in new rivalries and when we bring in some of the special opponents that will be visiting your campuses. We're also very excited about being able to utilize all that's available in Orlando for some of our spring sports and getting to warm weather plenty early. We don't usually fight with that too much, but we're always looking for places to host events and to put together feature activities. This is also, on a personal level, an opportunity for me to reconnect with my dear friend and colleague, Johnny Dawkins. We were together at Stanford, and he joins a pretty salty basketball league, and so I'm going to guess that he's out getting his ankles taped right now because he's going to have to dive in with some pretty fast company. We've been the #1 RPI basketball league in the country 7 out of the last 8 years, and so He and I have already visited about the challenges there, but I love Johnny and Tracy and really look forward to seeing more of them. I want to thank President Cartwright and Terry Mohajir and Board Chair Martins. You've been very generous with your time. You have been very generous with your thoughts, very interactive in asking questions and providing information. And I can't tell you how grateful I am. We are very proud to have Central Florida joining the Big 12. You will make an immediate and long-lasting impact on the Big 12 Conference. You'll do it by the way you conduct yourselves. You'll do it by the way you compete. You'll do it by the shared privileges that we all have of shared academic credentials and shared academic accomplishments. And I couldn't be any more excited to have your university joining the Big 12 Conference. And the first day of competition for the Knights can't get here soon enough. So thank you very much for your consideration. Thank you very much for the manner in which you've gone about this process. And I look forward with all appropriate enthusiasm to a long and successful relationship. So thanks very much.
Commissioner Bowlsby, thank you. We'll open up a question opportunity for both Commissioner Bowlsby and for President Schovanec. We ask media to identify your name and your affiliation, both those nationally and here in attendance. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. And Jason, go ahead.
What does that timeline look like? How early can UCF and the rest of the schools compete in the Big 12? Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Commissioner, the question was about timeline for competition. If you could address what that calendar might look like.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. In the case of BYU, they will be coming in on July 1st, 2023. And in the case of UCF and Cincinnati and Houston, they will be coming in not later than July 1st of 2024. So there is some flexibility in the first competition, but at the present time, we don't know the exact starting date for 3 of the 4.
Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel Commissioner. How confident are you that the Big 12 will be able to keep its Power 5 autonomous status, and what is the process for that?
Well, the autonomy designation is a largely misunderstood designation. It really only applies to our position in the governance system of the NCAA. Really doesn't have anything to do with the college football playoff or with any sort of subdivisional component. It has to do with what weighted voting we have, and I have every confidence that we will continue to enjoy the status we've had before. We've added both numerically and we've added with high quality. And I don't, there's an organization, Mike, that's doing, looking at the NCAA Constitution, and I suppose it's possible that the autonomy designation would go away for everybody. But I don't really think that's going to happen. In fact, if anything, I think we're probably moving in the direction of the 5 autonomy conferences having more to say about how the rules are constructed and managed rather than less. And I expect that we'll be a part of that.
Next up, Chris Fanini from The Athletic. Chris, go ahead.
Yes, for Bob, obviously you're going to be up to at least 12 teams in the future here. Is there any plans or discussions about splitting into divisions?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. It will likely vary by sport. Obviously, we have been committed to playing a full round robin. In men's and women's basketball, a full double round robin with either 12 or 14 for a period of time. we don't really have much choice but to play in divisions. We also, in the case of basketball, we play a double round robin right now, but even with 12, you can't play 24 league games, or 22 league games. So we're likely going to have some 2 plays. We'll have some 1 plays. We could even have some no plays. We really have been focused on the macro so far, and we'll have to dig into the micro, the scheduling, and some of the detail components as we go forward. But I think it is likely that we will play divisions in at least in some sports. We also have the decision to make as to how many league games we're going to play in the sport of football, and that one is likely to be one of the early decisions.
Max Olson from The Athletic. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, hi, Bob. When you think ahead here to potentially having, all these members, in the league potentially in 2023, do you think that Oklahoma and Texas will still be in this conference at that time? And how do you sort of look at the possibility of a 14-team league in 23?
Well, 14 is no less manageable than 12, so it isn't from that standpoint. It's not particularly daunting. OU and Texas have stated publicly that they intend to meet their obligations and stay through June 30th of 25, and we take them at their word. If it turns out that isn't the case, we feel like we have the necessary legal prerogatives to manage it as we see fit at the time that it occurs. But they've both stated publicly they intend to meet the obligations of their grant of rights through June 30th, 2025, and until they demonstrate otherwise, we take them at their word. So thanks for the question, Max.
Matt, go ahead.
Bob, this is Matt Rochelle from the Orlando Sentinel. I want to ask, adding these 4 teams, how much does that impact maybe the future of the college football playoff and the discussion of expansion?
Well, as you know, I was on the subcommittee that looked at expansion. I like the 12-team format. I particularly like it because I believe it strengthens the regular season. I think there'll be, with 6 weeks to go in the season, there'll be 40 schools that have a legitimate claim to one of those 12 spots, and with 3 weeks to go, there probably will be 20 teams that have a legitimate claim to it. So I think it'll be good for regular season TV. I think it'll be good for live gate. I think it'll be good for college football. Having said that, there are some headwinds. There are those who believe that the process wasn't open enough and that there weren't enough people involved in it from other conferences. There are those who believe that there should be a model that has more than one broadcaster involved. There are those that believe that we shouldn't do anything preemptively, but instead should make sure that we get to an open market bidding situation with the new contract. So when you combine all of those things, I think that there are some headwinds. Having said that, I think it's a relative certainty that the playoff will expand from 4. There are those who advocate for 6 or 8. I believe the 12-team model is superior for a lot of reasons that we don't have time to go into today. But whether or not that will carry the day remains to be seen. And I think if you go back to 8, you're going to lose some support there from some people, and if you stay at 12, you're going to lose some support from other people. So, we have a board of managers meeting the end of the month, and it should be a little clearer by then. But it certainly is not a fait accompli that it will sail right through. But I think all of those things, anything that creates enhanced and expanded access, is a good thing for the autonomy leagues, because we play at a high level and we have a chance to get more teams in.
Up next, Sandra Adelson from ESPN.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for taking the time. I'm just curious, what is your sense of more movement specifically on the Power 5 level in terms of the way the collegiate landscape is going to shape and shake out, and whether this might just be a first move for the Big 12?
Well, let me talk about the second one first, Andrea. I wouldn't suggest that this is the last move we will make. I think we will look for situations of opportunity when they present themselves. I wouldn't say we're out looking to expand, but I wouldn't foreclose on the possibility either. Relative to the shifting sands, I think the alliance is too young to know just exactly what impact it will have. But I think one of the things that the three conferences agreed to is that they weren't going to poach each other's members. And so, I don't know if there is any strategy beyond taking OU and Texas for the SEC. I don't know if there are consolidation talks that might bear on it. Some of the motivations that were previously there for conference realignment, most notably was capturing cable households. In a declining cable environment, those sorts of motivations are not as significant as they once were. And so, who knows what the next motivation may be. We may encounter a time in the coming years when a conference structure is a bygone thing. There may be larger alignments that get put together and out of necessity. And so, I don't know. I've been at this almost 40 years, and I don't know that I've seen a time that has quite the tumult that we have right now. When you think about the lawsuits and you think about the Supreme Court being involved again, and you think about name, image, and likeness, and some of the realignment. There are a lot of moving parts, and 4 years is a very long time, and I think we're just going to have to keep reading the tea leaves and move ahead and compete. It's a great thing in my estimation that football season came a week ago, because it kind of gets our minds off some of this other stuff that we've been dealing with. But it's a pretty crazy time right now.
We have time for one final question for Commissioner Bowlsby. Go ahead, Mike.
Commissioner Mike Bianchi from the Orlando Sentinel. Again, obviously everybody here in Orlando very happy today, not so much in Tampa. I'm wondering, did you guys ever consider taking two teams from Florida?
This was a very different process, Mike, than the last process. I think our board was focused, and I was focused on a small number of schools that we felt would move the needle for us in football first, but secondarily on a broad basis. And so, as I said earlier in response to a question, I wouldn't suggest that we're done, because I think our board will want to keep its eye on what's going on, and if there are targets of opportunity, we would think about that. But we were pretty focused on the four that we had, and those were the four that made application and were considered by the board.
I want to thank Commissioner Bowlsby and Texas Tech President Lawrence Schovanec for their time today. Thank you, gentlemen. We really appreciate it. We'll open up questions for both those online as well as here in person for President Cartwright and for Terry Mohajir. Please raise your hand, be identified here, and we'll also recognize those online as well. But questions first here from the room.
For Terry or Alex, how much is it going to cost to get to the Big 12 by exit fees and entrance fees?
Our agreement right now, of course, with the AAC is there's a $10 million exit fee, and we have to look at how long we'll pay that over the time. So that's the main cost of actually and going into the next league. That's our exit fees. That's it, I think. Is there a yeah, and then we pay an escrow to go into the Big 12.
How much is that?
It's $2.5 million.
Trey Strelko, Sons of UCF. For both of you, you mentioned the journey of the athletics program and your appreciation. Could you expand on that a little bit more? The appreciation you have for the students that have come before and the faculty, because it is a relatively short journey.
Oh, absolutely. It's what I meant. I mean, to be where we are today in such a short period of time is nothing short of remarkable. The meteoric ascent that we've had is outstanding. It has a lot to do with the resources, the donors, the student athletes, the type of coaches, the presidents. I mean, just like I said, it's been amazing to see. And as an outsider, having worked in the state before, I watched it happen. I've watched it from other states, but the time is right, and everybody knew this program was ready to take that step. And one of the promises that I had, we decided when he hired me, was we're going to make sure everybody knows that we're ready, and we just have to focus on ourselves to continue to tell the story, all the great stories that we've had over the years, and put ourselves in the best light.
From online, Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman. Barry?
Yeah, for Terry and maybe Alexander, when you talk about putting yourself in position for this day, what was the key element there?
Okay, you want to? Okay.
Is it having a stadium, as a quality stadium you built from the ground up? Is it winning? What do you think were the key factors in being prepared for this day?
It's a little bit of everything. It's all the elements combined. It's the fan base. It's the university, the largest university in the United States. It's the competition from all of our coaches, not just football. We will compete immediately in the Big 12 once we are members. It's the region, it's our donors, it's our fan base, it's a little bit of everything. And I think that we match up very well with some of the teams that are in autonomy conferences right now. As a matter of fact, I've been very vocal about that and the market value that we have, not only here in this region, but also nationally.
Yeah. The only thing I would add to that is actually, our desire actually to just communicate the excellence that was already here. This is a fabulous institution. When I joined it, I realized that one of the things that we needed to do was make sure people understand who we are. Who is UCF? It's not just that we are a large institution, but we have incredible academics, and we have incredible athletics here. And that message needed to get out regardless of what happened with this activity here.
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, Matt Marshall, the Orlando Sentinel. This is for Terry or Dr. I'm sorry, Alexander. The question I have is, was there any discussion about maybe going into the Big 12 earlier, or was that decided did the Big 12 kind of maybe set the tone for that?
We're open to any options. We're going to look at this. We just started this process, so we're going to look at where we are with our contract with the American, and we're open to any options right now.
So you would consider trying to do it sooner?
All options are open right now.
Go back online. I'm sorry, go ahead. Question here. No, go.
Question for Terry. Luke Ketcher, Spectrum Sports 360. This is a fan-based university that has demanded national respect. What does a move like this do for that quest?
Well, I think they already have national. They don't have to demand it. You earn it, and it's been earned. Today's action shows you've earned it. We've earned it. That's simple, right? Yeah.
Next up, back online, Jeff Sharon. Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Terry, congratulations, and congratulations to everybody for the accomplishment today. Just a little housekeeping item for you, Terry. Of course, the Big 12 sponsors every UCF sport except for men's soccer. So what's the plan for men's soccer going forward?
Well, Scott Calabrese, I don't know if he's in the room today. Well, I've already had a conversation with him, and we'll work on that immediately after the announcements. We talked to him. He was one of the first coaches that I pulled into the office, or I guess I went to his office to talk to him about it. He is 100% and 50% supportive of this move, even though he knows that it might present a little challenges for him, conference affiliation. I'm hoping that the American will allow us to stay. They only have 6 members right now in their conference, but with the success that he's had and his reputation and his leadership in the soccer community, I think we'll have a lot of options in my mind.
Jeff Beal with WFTV here in Orlando. This question for Terry. Looking at the out-of-conference schedules for football games going forward, does joining the Big 12 have any impact on the games you already have on the schedule? Specifically, I know folks around here would want to know about the University of Florida games you guys recently scheduled.
Yeah, it all depends on what the Big 12 new format's going to be when we join. They haven't really. We don't know whether it's going to be 8 teams or 9 teams. That would have a little bit of an impact on that. We don't have a lot of games after the 24-25 season, so I think we're in pretty good shape. But yeah, we've already started thinking about that. I mean, there was one game came up in the last week and a half, and we put a hold on that just to see what happens with this situation. So, yeah.
Andrea Adelson, ESPN. Andrea, go ahead.
Terry, when you got the job at UCF, where on the priority list was getting UCF into one of the autonomy conferences, and how surprised are you that it happened as quickly as it did?
Well, I was making calls about the second day on the job, so I'd say it's pretty priority just to find out what's with the landscape of what's going on. As we were trying to find a head football coach, I was also talking to people where we are. So I would say that, guys, when I say I'm blessed and honored to be here, there's no doubt in being on the college football playoff and watching the teams, the 2 years that I was on the playoff, this place was ready and poised to go to the highest levels. And there was no doubt that I was going to work tirelessly as much as I possibly could to help prove to people or earn what so many people have already established before I got here. So, it was a big priority. I think from a resource standpoint of what we want to do and what I think we can what I believe we can be, a top 10 program, without a doubt in my mind, we need the resources. And finding the autonomy type programs that have better resources was paramount, and I think in our evolution of our program.
Brandon Hellwig with Rivals.com. With UCF moving on to the Big 12, what is the status of the war on I-4 and games against University of South Florida in football and beyond?
Well, I mean, so I've been very chronicled about regional matchups, and since I've been here, we have contracted with 3 regional matchups: Florida Atlantic, Florida, and Bethune-Cookman. I'm committed to continue with regional matchups. Sometimes schedules don't align. I also would like to play Miami. I'd like to play Florida State. Will it happen every year? Probably not, but we definitely are committed to playing them as much as, I know other sports will play them as well, and we're committed to that as well.
I have a question for Alex. Jason Beatty.
They have schedule too, so go ahead.
Jason Beatty with the Atlanta Sentinel again. Alex, even when you were interviewing for this position many months ago, you talked about athletics being the front porch of the university.
Yeah.
Obviously you didn't know what was going to happen here, but what does this do for the university as a whole from an academic standpoint and the bigger picture, I guess?
That's a great question, and that's absolutely the case. What happens is that athletics, of course, is what gives you the visibility. It's what allows people to notice that name, to recognize UCF and try to understand what else is going on at that place, right? Where at that place. This is a special institution. I can tell you, I've been here 17 months, and every day I learn more, and I'm more thankful to be the president of this institution. I'm fortunate to be here. What we need to do is make sure we get our message out there, and there's no better vehicle for that than athletics. The fact that we will have ads on major games that can be seen around the country, that matters to us academically. People will see what is coming out of UCF, and we need them then to realize that to be exceptional, when you're an exceptional institution, you decide you're going to be exceptional at everything. And athletics is one of those things. We're going to also be exceptional in our research, and everything that we do academically for our students and for this community. So this is a big deal for us, and I'm glad that we're able to be here today to make it happen. Thank you.
Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel. Terry, just to clarify, you're saying you probably won't play USF every year?
Well, I mean, they have a schedule now. I mean, they're scheduled out. Have you seen their future schedule? So, I mean, we can't get them to cancel games, but we'll definitely want to play them. It's not an issue, but I can't get them to cancel games. So, I mean, I think it's not like basketball. You schedule 4 or 5 years, 6 years, 7 years out. We're scheduling in the 30s right now to get games, and that's kind of where we are in the college football landscape. So, yeah, we definitely want to play. We have proven that we want to play regional matchups. I do want to play Miami. I do want to play Florida State as well, and so we're focused on it. Yeah.
Terry, also, as an AD, I'm sure you probably put pen to paper at some point, or your staff has. When you guys start getting the full allotment of Big 12 money, what is this going to mean financially for the program? And also, being a former football coach, what's it going to mean recruiting-wise?
Well, you know, I still believe that your level's your state of mind. I don't change that. But the moniker does have cachet, okay, in all of recruiting. And a Power 5 moniker is important because that's used and our coaches talk to me about it a lot. So we're doing very well in recruiting in all of our sports, regardless. I think this will help significantly. And so I feel really good about where we are. And from a finance standpoint, you know, it's going to take a while to figure out how we're going to, you know, some of the, as Dr. Cartwright said, the payment plan. And so it's not just going to be we're going to have this windfall of cash. And then, you know, all of a sudden, I mean, it's going to be a process. And we got to figure out the aggregate. And that's why we have outstanding financial people on this campus. Gerald Hector, Brad Strickling, which is our CFO of the AA Athletic Association. We'll continue to mine through that and navigate through that. But it's good. It's good. It's like I said. Yes, we're getting a raise. Thank you. Yeah.
Trey Strelko, Sons of UCF. Leading up to today's announcement, what have your conversations been like with Commissioner Mike Oresko of the AAC?
I have not had a conversation with him this week, so that's all I can say. I sent a letter today to all the memberships, and that was what we did today. So to all the presidents and the athletic directors and the conference office. So.
Matt Rochelle, the Orlando Sentinel. This is for Terry and Alex. Talk about a little bit of the timeline of how this all kind of came down. I know you talked about it was really fast, but was this something that maybe was kind of going on for the last couple of weeks before it kind of got to this point, or was it before then? Can you talk a little bit about the timeline?
It's been a few weeks. Yeah, it was. I don't know how to really explain it, but you know, our strategy, and I presented a strategy to him probably about 2 months ago when things started to break. Well, even before Texas and Oklahoma left the Big 12, I presented a strategy to them of what we were trying to do and with the football campus, our recruiting, just little dripping that we continue to need to do nationally. And it just so happened that the gates opened up and we were there. So that's kind of the process.
Yeah. What I would add is that one of the things that I love about Terry is that Terry's always thinking about how we position ourselves to be in the best position possible, regardless of what's going on, right? And his vision of where we were headed as an institution, all of that vision wasn't tied to actually being in a different conference. It was tied to what is best for UCF, how do we position ourselves nationally, how can we then continue to move forward and be the institution we want to be. And when I saw the plans for, you know, the football campus and all of these things, I remember saying to him, I said, we got to make sure the board actually sees this stuff, right? Is that this is exciting. This is what we should be doing. We should be doing things differently. That's what UCF does. So it was just, sometimes, you know, we say, you know, sometimes you get lucky, but you have to be prepared to get lucky. And we were prepared.
Brandon Hellwig, Rivals.com. On a related note to that question, I guess it was about a week ago, it was the day of the Boise State game when the plan, I suppose, from the Big 12 started to get leaked. I think the Athletic and ESPN kind of said these were the 4 schools that they were going to focus in on. Is that when you found out? Like, can you kind of talk us through when you knew you were going to be part of this plan and kind of how you were informed and what your reaction was when you learned UCF would be included?
No, we knew before. Yeah, so I'm going to add into what the president, he did a great job answering my questions. Just have him answer my questions. It's when luck meets, when luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and that's what this was. And like I said, I cannot, and I called Danny, and I called Todd Stansberry, I talked to George O'Leary, and I know President reached out to some of his predecessors as well, just telling them this is your day as well. And when luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and we happen to be here.
Terry, Ryan Welch from WKMG here in Orlando.
Yeah.
You're obviously an energetic guy. You feed off people's energy. If you had the opportunity right now to talk to the entire student population here at UCF, what would you tell them about today?
I'll see you tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
I love that answer.
Yes. There you go, right?
But beyond that, about the importance and the significance of today.
You said, I answered your question, right? Yeah, well, yeah. So, and we have volleyball tonight against Florida State at 7:30. So there you go. Brad should be over there setting up. So anyway, but anyway, yeah. No, I mean, just they're part of it. They're part of it, and they are absolutely the energy. They are the soul and heartbeat of this campus, and the energy that they bring. The love and passion that they have for this school is what keeps us going every single day. Don't lose that passion. Don't lose that energy. It's been remarkable. I have walked this campus by myself with people just to talk to students, and it doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, what your economic background is. It is amazing how many of our students, not affiliated with athletics, how many of our students love this campus. Continue your love. It's going to grow. Our average age of our alumni base is, 36, 38, and it's getting younger. And you know what? It's because of our youthfulness, our boldness, the way we think, modern. So, that's what it is. And I'll see you tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. So.
One last question.
Trey Strelko, Sons of UCF. A few weeks ago, you unveiled and announced a facilities plan. Was that with today's announcement in mind, or how may today's announcement alter the timeline for those facilities?
It really wasn't. It was really what we believe, and we think. I said your level's a state of mind. You'll continue to hear me say that. It's what I believe. I think we need to be a top 10 program, and regardless which conference we're in, I still think we can believe that. I still believe we can do that. And the advent of the football campus allows us, and is unique, and it's different than any other college campus in the country. And Coach Malzahn is doing a phenomenal job recruiting. He's battling some of the biggest brand names in the country right now, and we're getting commitments. Along with our other coaches, are doing a fantastic job without the moniker that we will have now. So we'll continue to charge on.